Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Yeah, we have all our esteemed guests present here with us. Thank you, everyone, for taking out time from your busy schedules. And we will be starting within 2-3 minutes. So I request everyone to please settle down and for the duration of the inaugural ceremony, be at your utmost concentration because all the problem statements will be explained and you will come to know what you are expected to do within the next 36 hours. Okay? So we will be starting in 2 to 3 minutes.
हेलो ओके डन ये ऐसा
मैं ट्रांजिशन कर देता हूँ जो पेपर टेस्ट कर
हेलो हेलो डन ओके
एक सेकंड राठी कैमरे के सामने
हेलो गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन I welcome you to HackOut'23 powered by Rodic Consultant, co-powered by One Global Uni. I, Trusty Makani, on behalf of HackOut'23, organized by Annual Festival Committee DA-IICT, welcome you all. A special welcome to all our estimated dignitaries present with us today. We are honored to have with us Professor Preetam Anand, our faculty mentor, and Mr. Raj Kumar, the CMD of Rodic Consultants, and his team. We also have team from Sales Handy and Arun Bhimani from Intech. This event is organized by Synapse Committee. Synapse is not just a festival, it is a celebration and exhibition of fashion, art, literature, innovation, creativity, and many more. Synapse Committee organizes national level hackathon every year. Hackathon isn't just about lines of code or a finished product, it's much more. It aims at unfolding new opportunities, the journey one's experience, and most importantly, it's learning. So embrace the challenges, cherish the victories, and enjoy every moment of this experience. Synapse has been organizing and conducting hackathons as a flagship event from past few years. The most recent edition we concluded last year was HackOut'22, which was huge success. A lot of creative mind poured in from different colleges of Gujarat and India. And here we are with yet another and better version of us in HackOut'23, powered by Rodic Consultants and co-powered by One Global Uni.
Firstly, we would like to start by felicitating everyone who is here. I'd like to request Devansh Patel, the Deputy Convener of Synapse, to welcome our faculty mentor, Mr. Preetam Anand, sir. The events that we do are not possible without the assistance from our faculty mentors. So I'd like to welcome him from my bottom of my heart. Next, I'd like to request Preetham Anand sir to welcome Mr. Raj Kumar. He is currently serving as the CMD for Roddick Consultants. Sir, Raj Kumar, he's there. Thank you so much, sir, for sparing some time for us. Next, I would like to request sir again to welcome Mr. Arun Bhimani from Intech. I'd like to request Mr. Aman from Human Resources. Aman sir. Oh, who is Aman sir? Okay. Actually, I got different names. Sorry. Vidhi ma'am. Rahul sir. I would request Preetham Anand sir to address our audience with his kind words and motivate them.
Hello. So, on the behalf of Annual Fest Committee and in fact the whole DA-IICT family, I welcome to all of you in this vibrant and dynamic campus of DA-IICT for hackathon event. So it is 8th edition of our hackathon event, right? So the student body, student club, in fact, Fest committee also very feel committed to introduce a awareness for basic understanding and development of technology. Notwithstanding, it also try to open a platform for mutual growth and excellence. So we have, with this objective, we are organizing our HackOut event since 2016. So this time we have more than 1,200 participation requests. So out of them, 800 participants are with us, with the great energy and enthusiasm which I can sense. So one of the objectives of this type of event is that when you come to here, then you be aware state of art technology. You be aware that how to develop technology which is close to market product. You also, one of the very key component of learning outcomes when you are going from this event, that you will learn how to work together in a group. So you will learn that how to think for a problem together. You will learn how to solve certain problem together. You will learn how to code together. You will learn how to dream together. And in fact, you are going to learn how to achieve certain things together. So this sense of togetherness would be always with you as learning outcomes. And I would like to, and also I would like to mention that out of 800 participants, we have not filtered out anyone, because we believe that everybody should get the opportunity to progress and excel. So our DA-IICT feels social commitments along with its technological commitments, right? So we work on this line. And we are very grateful and thankful to our sponsors, because without them, this event was not possible. So a big hands of applause for them. Also, I would like to know that how many of you are participating in this type of event first time? Oh, there is a large number, large ratio. So certainly you will be exposed to different set of environments. Now you are going to experience different set of things. So our objective fulfills there. Further, we have, I think that you may have the access of the Insta page we are operating. So it schedule all those events. And we have also helpline, and our volunteer are very young and active and will help out in case of any regard. So please don't hesitate if you need any type of help. Okay. Now I can sense that you are going, you are full of energy and you are going to attack the problems without any delay. So I hand over mic to the Drishti so that she can operate the further things.
I'd like to request Devansh to felicitate Mr. Aman from Sales Handy. He misunderstood that only. Next, I'd like to request Devansh to felicitate Mr. Arshdeep from Rodic Consultants. And Mr. Ajay Patel. Mr. Samyan Gupta. Arun sir. I express my gratitude on behalf of the entire annual festival committee to each and everyone who is present here, especially everyone who has got spared some time from their busy schedules. Now, one by one, we will be talking about the problem statements, and we would be starting by hearing some encouragement views from Rajkumar sir.
800 young boys and girls. Amazing. And you all are coming from different parts of the country, maybe far-flung areas also. A lot of you would have traveled. But this is what is amazing. And I can see the vibrancy in the air. And you all are rearing to go for the competition and show your mettle and learn a lot of things. I'm sure you will be taking a lot of learnings, lot of experience out of all this, the 36 hours that you have in hand. Now coming on, one of my colleagues, the younger ones, he asked me, after maybe long time I would have attending a fest or a program like this in college, because I never went to my college also, so it is quite a long time. I used to bunk my classes. But coming to you all are, I understand, coming from a digital or IT background. Yes, I'm right? Why digital or IT is important? Why you have chosen this course? Anybody, I want, what is the solution that the IT is going to give to the society, to the world? Only one, somebody, I just want. Can raise their hand and, yeah, please.
We could automate things that would otherwise require manual labor.
Yeah, somewhat. We are, it will be, maybe a lot of you would be knowing our background. We are infrastructure consultants, primarily into civil mechanical engineer. Why we are here and we are sitting on this dais? One lot of you guys would have thought, I guess there would be somebody would have thought, what are these guys doing over here? What your colleague said over here, automate the systems. Why IT is important today, and it had always been important in a broad sense. It brings in efficiency, it brings in transparency, and it reduces the risk overall. How do you see to survive in that ecosystem? That is the reason Roddick is here, to bring in the efficiency in the infrastructure sector, the transparency which is missing. You would all be knowing how the bridges are falling across the country. Lot of roads and infrastructure, we all travel on that. Why that is all happening, and how we can bring it with a efficiency into it, cost-wise, efficient working into it, and transparent way of handling on that, so that the risks are mitigated. That is the primary reason. If you Google out, or if you see, infrastructure is at the bottom stack of the adoption in digital tech. Maybe media and lot of things, they are the top guys in the sector. This is the particular sector, large sector, but closed sector. So you also, lot of guys who want to work also, they would not be getting the actual knowledge about what's going on in the infrastructure sector. This have been the biggest challenge for IT, not entering the way it has seeped into other sectors. With that, I'll close my, and again I'll thank for the organization, the fantastic and the type of crowd and the passion I am seeing. Thank you all. Let's have that.
Thank you so much, sir. It really, like, we feel really blessed that you could travel from all the way from Delhi just for this event. So thank you so much. I'd like to invite Drashti to continue about the themes, and then we can proceed to the problem statement.
So, provided themes for HackOut'23 are cybersecurity, infratech, healthcare, logistic tech, and edtech. This event would not have been possible without our sponsors. So we would like to thank our associate partner Sales Handy, Coding Ninja, and Platinum partner Intech.
I'd like to invite Arshdeep sir to begin with the problem statements.
All right, so a room full of coders, how depressing can it get? Just kidding, just kidding. I could see a lot of you were already working with laptops. Probably you were already firing up your GitHub repositories. Is that true? Were you already trying to take a head start from your competitors? No one that clever? Okay, so you guys are already making softwares, right? Are you using any kind of project management softwares by any chance? Anyone using Asana? Anyone using Trello? Just a show of hands. You using what software? Trello. Anyone using Jira? Anyone using GitHub? Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. Anyone using Excel, by the way, for project management? Okay, never mind. So you see, right, all of us over here, we're all second year, third year students, and we're already using project management softwares. What is the scale of the projects you're building? 5 users, 10 users, 100 users maybe? Or maybe one of you gets lucky and you reach 1,000 users. And what is the number of people you have in your team? 5, 10? Anyone who's worked with more than 50 people in a team? Wonderful. But most of you would have worked under 10 people, right, in a team. Is that true? Now let me give you a situation. There's a user, there's a category of users, okay? And they have projects that are valued over 15,000 crores. They have users scaling more than 8 crore people. There are more than 500 to 600 people in their team, and unfortunately, they do not have a project management software for themselves. Any guesses on what category of users do they fall in? Anyone? Someone has already spilled the beans over here. Someone just came right before me and gave you a hint. Any guesses? It's going to fetch you some extra points. Infrastructure. Anyone else? Particularly something in infrastructure? Government, private? Any guesses? Did someone say government? Awesome. government infrastructure clients and contractors. They have more than 500 to 600 people in their team. They have users over 8 crore people. In fact, the whole population of a state or a country is their user, right? And the worth of the projects they're doing exceeds more than 10,000, 15,000, in some cases even 30,000 crores. And they do not have a project management software until today. There's a software called HackOut'23 which solves this exact pain point. So what does R360 do? It simplifies the lives of these government and large-scale private contractors, people who are making roads, people who are making bridges. The way Rajkumar sir told, not a lot of people would be knowing this problem, right? It's a very hidden problem. It's hidden behind some fences. We all do not interfere in how the government works. But I'm telling you the reality. Till date, it's 2023, and they're still working with files, papers, folders, people writing things, signing off things. You know, if there is a delay that happens in a particular component, let's say a pillar is getting delayed in a bridge. Ek banda, are all of you comfortable with Hindi, by the way? Okay, perfect. So ek banda realize karega ki there's a delay. He will write a chitti to the MD. That chitti will reach in a week. The MD will find the time to read that chitti, sign it off and send it back. So by the time wo chitti वापस जाएगी, delay और बढ़ गया. What's the point of identifying those delays, right? It has to be real time. So that is what HackOut'23 is solving. It is making working on infrastructure projects real time. So creating minutes of the meet, creating tasks, and associating all of that with a 3D model of your project. That is what HackOut'23 does. It takes things real time. So a person who's owning an entire entity like a public sector unit will be sitting in their room, chilling in front of a TV, and seeing on their screen ki boss mera project kaise chal raha hai, kitna revenue hai, kitne delays hai, who's not working right. Okay, and I can just fire them from my seat. I don't even have to get up and ask somebody outside the room. That is the power of HackOut'23. Now the first problem that you will be solving in Infratech is that you will have to suggest us and come up with modules that we can add to HackOut'23. It's not an imaginary problem, guys. This is a real problem. R360 is live and it's working with state governments in Bihar, in Jharkhand, in other states as well. So state governments are using this software and we want you to contribute an idea to that. And if one of it shines, we might even add it. So this is the first problem. Okay, you will be adding a module to R360. Now while you're thinking about those solutions, you have to think how a large-scale infrastructure company, be it private or public, will be working. What are their constraints? They have so many people in their team, right? The first constraint is 500, 600 stakeholders working on that problem. The second constraint is all of them have an average age of more than 30 to 40. They're not accustomed to softwares. They've been habitual of using files and folders, right? They've grown up like that. They've seen offices work like it. So how do you make it easy for them to adopt to a digital system? All of us, with 21, 22, 23, we've grown in a digital age. They haven't. It's tough for them to adopt to it. So how do you make it easy? Okay, and how do you also make sure that it's something that a government will buy and trust? Right? It's not a startup that you're selling to. You're selling to the Indian government. So you have to be very, very believable. So this is the first problem. You'll be adding ideas, features, modules to R360. Okay? Now, the company behind R360 is Roddick Consultants. It's very obvious. It's over there, right? Oh, the slide change, sorry. It's Roddick Consultants. And this company has been in the industry since the last 23 years. And since the last 8 years, we've been doing a lot of digital things. We've been doing a lot of digital initiatives. And we're not just limited to roads and bridges, we're also getting to an even more critical area, which is healthcare. How many of you have had the opportunity to step into a government hospital? I guessed it. Ambani ka college hai, koi nahi gaya hoga na? Sab Amir. Right? Unfortunately, guys, our government healthcare system needs a lot of improvements, right? It's still paper-based. It's very similar to how roads and bridges are working. In fact, even worse. So, Roddick is building a healthcare digitization software, HMIS, which is currently implemented in Bihar. Okay, so what this software does is I'm going to walk you through the process. This is very important for you to crack your hackathon. So, when a patient enters a government hospital, they have to get registered, right? So instead of going to the reception and a receptionist taking down a note in a file or a folder, they will now be taking that record on a laptop, okay, on a digital instrument. And they won't be taking that record against your name because there could be so many Arshdeeps or so many suggest some names, Dikshas around the world, right? So it's not unique. So the government has introduced a unique identification number called the Aabha number under the Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, ABDM. Current affairs be strong karo, agar kisi ko IAS crack karna hai, CAT crack karna hai, to, okay, so ABDM is something that the government is working on. Okay, so they've issued Aabha numbers. It's very similar to your Aadhaar number. It's a unique identification number for all of you. So against your Aabha number, a record is created that, hey, this particular person has entered the hospital, he has so-and-so symptoms, register them to the healthcare system. The second step, the nurse comes into the picture. She takes vitals. What's his height? What's blood pressure, temperature, symptoms, right? And they take a note of that, not on a paper, but on a digital system. And then comes the doctor. So the doctor will now not write a prescription on a piece of paper, but on the laptop, typing what medicines they're prescribing. And finally, this list of medicines gets transferred to the pharmacy unit. So by the time you reach the pharmacy unit, medicines are already there. So it's a whole digital system out there now. But it's not that hunky-dory. सब कुछ उतना अच्छा नहीं होता जितना कागज पे लगता है. Record लिया जा रहा है. Okay? But the doctors are not adopting to this system. Why? Again, their average age is high. I just pointed out that, right? There are 3 categories of doctors, by the way, and this again will be helpful for you to solve your hackathon. So the first category of doctors are those doctors that do not know technology. It's not their mistake. They were never trained on a software, right? They graduated when softwares did not exist for health. So that's the first category of doctors. The second category of doctors that are not able to adopt it are those doctors which, although can adopt a technology, a piece of technology, it's easy for them to adopt a software, but they don't have the time to do it. Remember guys, we're talking about healthcare in the state hospitals. These are already overburdened. We have 1 doctor for 100 patients in 1 single day. They don't have the time to learn a software, right? It's a real problem. They don't have the time for it, even if they're willing to do it. They don't have the time for it. The third category of doctors are the ones that might or might not know technology, but they don't want it in the first place. They don't want transparency. मैं आप सबकी अगर mark sheets public कर दूँ या answer sheets यहाँ लगा दूँ, तो would you be happy about it? Most of you won't be, right? I would die if that happens. But and that's the same case with doctors, right? They don't want their prescriptions to be out there कि कोई चेन्नई में बैठा expert मेरी prescription पढ़ रहा है और बोल रहा है ये doctor तो capable नहीं है, इसको निकालो hospital से. Transparency will take out jobs, right? So these are the 3 categories of doctors. So the second problem for your hackathon in healthcare is you need to figure out ways to make it easier for doctors, and for that matter, any healthcare frontline worker, to adopt to a digital software. This could be anything. So there are solutions that we are trying out in Bihar where it's called WonderX, where you just write on a piece of paper, but it's not a normal ordinary paper. It's a smart paper and a smart pen. So whatever you write gets transcribed and gets written onto a digital record. Okay? So this is one solution, but it's very expensive. It's not a long-term solution, right? And for how long can you do it? You're not managing change over here, you're avoiding it. And at your own expense, मैं कब तक smart paper बांटता रहूँगा boss? One day my pocket gets empty and the doctor will say, मेरे को तो paper पे लिखने की आदत है. I don't know how to run a laptop. So it's not a long-term solution. So you need to come up with solutions that simplify adoption. So these are the 2 challenges from my side. The first is you need to come up with a feature, module, or any solution that we can add to HackOut'23 that simplifies the lives of companies that are building mega structures like bridges, roads, sewage treatment plants, right? And the second problem is that you need to simplify adoption in healthcare digitization systems, in healthcare softwares. So best of luck to all of you. And if you have any doubts with these problems, feel free to reach out to any one of us. Thank you. Thank you.
So we will be mailing whatever is presented to you regarding the problem statements, to be rest assured about that. Next up, I'd like to invite Mr. Ajay Patel from Global Uni to talk about the problem statement.
Hello everyone, good evening. So basically myself Ajay Patel, and I am from One Global Uni. So One Global Uni बेसिकली मैं उसका आपको इंट्रोडक्शन दे देता हूँ कि वो क्या करता है. अब बेसिकली वन ग्लोबल यूनी, अगर हम कोई यूनिवर्सिटी में कोई कोर्स अटेम्प्ट करना चाहते हैं, कोई कोर्स के बारे में लर्न करना चाहते हैं, तो हम बेसिकली क्या करते हैं कि यूनिवर्सिटी के जो भी एल्यूमिनीज या कोई भी स्टूडेंट है उसको पूछते हैं कि भाई ये यूनिवर्सिटी कैसी है. हमारे जो डाउट्स है वो यूनिवर्सिटी के बारे में वो हम स्टूडेंट्स को पूछते हैं. तो वो स्टूडेंट्स आपको कैसे मिलेंगे? सो वन ग्लोबल यूनी आपको प्लेटफॉर्म प्रोवाइड करता है कि आप वो यूनिवर्सिटी के एल्यूमनीज के साथ आपके डाउट्स शेयर कर सकते हो और क्लियर कर सकते हो वाया चैट फंक्शनैलिटी. सो बेस्ड ऑन दैट वन ग्लोबल यूनी का प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट है कि अगर मान लो कि कोई इवेंट, जैसे कि अभी ये इवेंट हो रही है, ये फिजिकल इवेंट है, बट हमें अगर वर्चुअल इवेंट करनी है, राइट. सो वर्चुअल इवेंट हम कैसे करें? वेबिनार जिसको हम बोलते हैं. सो प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट है कि हमें एक वेबिनार बनाना है जहाँ पे कोई भी स्टूडेंट है वो स्टूडेंट आए, रजिस्टर करे वो वेबिनार में, और वो वेबिनार जब भी अरेंज है, जब भी वो हो रहा है, तब वो वेबिनार अटेम्प्ट करे. और जब वो होस्ट जो वेबिनार को वेबिनार को स्टार्ट कर रहा है, वो वेबिनार जब भी होस्ट स्टार्ट करे तब सारे स्टूडेंट अटेम्प्ट हो और उनके जो भी क्वेश्चंस है वो वाया वीडियो कॉलिंग उनके साथ शेयर कर पाए. एल्स अगर किसी को क्यूए भी करना है तो वाया चैट फंक्शनैलिटी वो उनके साथ शेयर कर सकें. सो ये हमारा प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट है कि हमें एक वेबिनार क्रिएट करना है जहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स अपने रजिस्ट्रेशन करें, एडमिन जहाँ से एक इवेंट्स क्रिएट करे और वो इवेंट्स में जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो ज्वाइन हो और उनके जो भी डाउट्स और वो है वो क्लियर हो.
Thank you, sir. Next, I'd like to invite Arun sir from Intech. He will also talk about one of the problem statements.
Hello everyone. Good evening. Yes. So first of all, thank you organization committee to conduct such kind of event or occasion for us to meet really enthusiastic and research oriented people community, right? And we have business problems, we have real world challenges, and you have a very niche research and development kind of capabilities, and thank you for creating such occasion to meet these two kind of people, right? I am Arun Bhimani. I am leading Center of Excellence Department at Intech, and I am from Intech Creative Services, and we are one of the expert in domain knowledge of port and logistic. And I have come up with one of the key issue nowadays, not an issue, but how we can make system efficient, right? So in a port and logistic domain, we have come up with an problem of efficient container placement system. So how many of you are at least aware about port and logistic industry? Means there are some vessels, on top of vessels there are some containers, okay, and these containers are placed into a yard, right? And if we are exporting some containers or some goods, then that goods placed into a container, right? And that container is placed in the yard, and after some days it will be placed on a vessel, right? And if we are importing some goods from out countries, then that goods comes through a container through vessel, that containers kept out of vessels, put into yard, and after few days those parties who have ordered that goods, they are come and take delivery of those containers, right? So this is the common working scenario of any logistic domain, right? Now, what is efficient container placement system? What we need, that whenever we are putting any container into a yard, then there is a chance, or the efficiency of the operations can be calculated based on how many moves we are doing to operate any container. Suppose we have kept a container in a stack, like one container at a ground, and then on top of that one container, and top of that another container. And if I want to deliver a container which is at the ground, then I have to effectively do 3 operations. First I have to take out top container, then second container, then take third container and put onto a truck, and then again all those 2 containers that I have stacked out, I have to again stack in on the same location, right? So how we can make our system in a very efficient way, where whenever we are placing any container into a yard, whenever we need to deliver those containers, we have a minimum moves required, right? So this is really an industry's challenge, where we can save our resources through this kind of AI based solution, where the solution calculate or suggest us an efficient location where you can put your containers, right? Now when we have provided this problem statement to you, it has a very complex problem statement, but we have simplified it for you, right? Why we have simplified? Because it has a lot of parameter or variables to consider when we are putting any container onto a yard, and we have kept only few variables for you to take care of. Like whenever you are putting any container on a yard, in a yard there are certain kind of locations where you can put certain kind of containers. Like if you want to put any container which is going out of our country, means we are exporting those containers, then there are a specific area in a yard where only you can put export containers, right? When we are importing some containers from outside and we want to put those containers into yard, we have a separate area for import containers, okay? And those containers which are empty, we have a separate area to put a empty container, right? So this is the one variable where you have to consider what kind of containers that you are operating upon, right? Another thing is whether that container is empty or full, or we, in our terminology, we are telling it as a laden container, okay? So you have a either empty container or full container. Third variable is the size of container. There are universally globally ISO standard of container size. There is 20 feet and 40 feet, right? So there is a 2 kind of size only, but whenever you are stacking any containers, and if you have a ground container of 40 feet, if you have placed 40 feet container, then you can only put 40 feet container on that stack. Understood? And if you have a 20 feet container, then you can only put 20 feet container on that stack. Right? So there are so many permutation combinations to choose any location particularly, right? Another thing, whenever our algorithm suggests any location of a yard where you can put a container, it should not be on air, right? Whenever we are suggesting any location, it should not be on air. वो ground से ही होना चाहिए, right? So अगर आपने लोकेशन एयर का कोई सजेस्ट किया तो वो ग्राउंड पे रखना पड़ेगा ना, एयर पे तो ऐसे लटकेगा नहीं ना, right? So when you are developing, so keep this everything in your mind and develop this solution. Now another thing, important thing is, whenever we have to put any containers into a yard, we will get a list of containers that are coming into a yard with their in date, okay? And at the time of in, means जब वो container आता है तब हमें कब वो जाएगा वो पता नहीं होता है, but we have a history of data available with us, right, where we have in time and out time of that container. So when we have that history, you can refer that history and you can at least get some idea about, on an average, this kind of container or this particular container, how many days it is remaining in a yard, Okay, so based on that also you can decide where to put. If some container are really taking 8-10 days or more than highest day in a yard, then you can put it in a ground level, right? If some containers coming today and just came out, going out tomorrow, then you can always choose a location which is on a top, right? So these are some of the key parameters that you have to keep in mind and to derive a solution to suggest these locations, right? Any questions or query? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Last but not the least, I would invite Rutvik sir from Sales Handy to talk about his problem statement.
Hello. Yes, good evening, guys. How's the Josh? All right. So, yeah, just to be clear, I am Rutvik, he is Aman. Okay. There have been a lot of confusion between the name, but yeah, that's okay. So, let me tell you about myself. I am engineer slash manager slash developer slash a nerd who works at a company called Sales Handy, which is a product company with just 13 engineers and having with just 13 engineers having around million of users. Today I am presenting a problem statement for this event, which is don't go to title. I'll give you a summarized version, which is a pandemic management system for the governments. Okay, so the problem we want to solve is how can we efficiently utilize resources, people, stocks, medicines, everything, with just single laptop. So think it like this: if you want to design a solution, if you want to design a software which can help government to orchestrate an entire, a pandemic with just single laptop, how we are going to do that? So, let's divide it into two parts. The first part is let's work on the algorithms. What kind of challenges, what kind of calculations we have to do to make this possible, and second one will be visualizations. Okay, so what will be the UI, what will be the reports, what will be the graphs, that part. So can you please scroll a bit? Can we scroll, please? Yeah, please go ahead. All right. So we want to allocate resources properly. So we want to write algorithms which basically take a decision that which doctor should be treating what kind of patients, which nurse should be treating what kind of patients, and what kind of hospital should be admitting what kind of patients. Okay, so this is the first part. Second part is healthcare workforce management. So develop efficient solution for deploymenting nurse, medical stuff, and sort of that. Then we have laboratory and testing optimization. So we have limited laboratories in the country. We have limited machines which basically does this reporting in the country. So we want to efficiently use that. Which report should be done in priority, which report should not be done in priority. I mean, it can wait for 2-3 days. Okay, so that level of breakdown. Next one is medicine stock management. So what kind of medicine should be thought, should we think before we prescribe to a patient? For example, let's say, COVID can have, let's say, 10 type of medicine depending upon the severity of the symptoms. Now, we need to come up with a way where we categorize all the patients and we prescribe limited amount of stocks, medicine stocks to each patient so that we can save more lives. Next one would be data-driven decision making. So so when it comes to pandemic, okay, and if you put yourself in a government shoes, then rather the decision should be rather it a field based, it should be a database, okay, because we know people are actually being affected with this situation a lot. So how we can make efficient judgment, how we can make optimized systems so that we can make very much accurate decision and we can save maximum lives. So I'll give you example how this entire system should work. So for example, let's say we have 1 million patients and we have only capacity of, let's say, 10,000 patients to be treated properly. Now what do we do? So idea is let's break it down, okay. First thing first, hospitals. So let's categorize hospitals, which hospitals has what sort of facilities, which hospital has ventilators, which hospital has basic needs, which hospitals are being operated in rural areas, which hospitals are being operated in urban areas, sort of like that we categorize our hospitals, okay. Let's also categorize laboratories as well, okay. What sort of lab can do this kind of report, what kind of labs can do this kind of report. So for example, if we develop first come first algorithm, okay, in that case lot of lives are going to be lost. So we have to divide the treatment policies. So the patients, so we need to have a proper diagnosis system, okay, like level 1 diagnosis, level 2 diagnosis, level 3 diagnosis, okay. Patients who are very much severe, okay, they should be admitted to hospitals. People who are, let's say, 50% severe, they can be consulted one-on-one with the doctors. Patients who has minor symptoms, they can be actually consulted via email, via web call or something like that, okay. Most important part is scheduling, okay. Again, we have very limited number of doctors, nurses, okay. So we want to be very much precise about how much time we are going to spend on a single patient, how much time we are going to spend on what kind of patient, okay. We don't want experienced doctors on, consulting on a video call. Rather, we want those experts on operating something. We want those doctors, in terms of educating other doctors. Awareness part and those sort of stuff, right? So here, so again, scheduling and resource management is one of the key part. Okay. Now, key to successfully solve this problem is algorithms. Okay. So if you can come up with a way to schedule doctor's appointment very much efficiently. Okay. We want to categorize patients, we want to categorize hospitals, and if we want to categorize doctors, and if we can come up with a way to a base scheduling algorithm so that we can save more lives, we need to come up with a way efficient algorithm for stock management. Okay, what sort of medicine goes to what kind of patients, what sort of medicine goes to what kind of hospitals, or sort of like that. Okay. And the last one would be visualizations. Okay, again, if you can come up with a way with based charts, based graphs, based maps, okay, where we can identify that here is a big problem and we need to focus on that. So those sort of stuff will be really help you to win this hackathon. Is there any question? All right, yeah, this is it from mine.
Thank you, sir. So, do we have any open general question regarding any of the problem statements that we have discussed so far? Anyone? No doubt is a stupid doubt. So, please speak up if you have anything.
The last two problems, that hospital management and vessel scheduling problem, since I am my research interest moves around regression models and optimization. So in my case, these are the problem of optimization and that vessel. I am giving you certain hints. It may be helpful for you or it may not be helpful for you. So the thing is that the that the number of minimum distance travel you need to minimize, and this is the function of the number of vessel, location of vessel. So this may be highly non-differentiable and non-continuous function. So one of the good candidate for solving it, the nature-inspired algorithm, meta-heuristic algorithm. So these are the genetic algorithms, gravitational search algorithms. This meta-heuristic algorithm may help in these last two problems, in my sense. And since I was, it is true in my opinion. So we need to work, and we need to see the brief how it works. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So, before proceeding to the general guidelines and the rules, I'd like to thank all of the sponsors for their valuable time. Last call to everyone present here in the LTs. If you have any questions regarding to the problem statements specific to what are you expected to do? Anything? Okay, thank you so much. I'd like to, Devansh will escort you to other places where the students are, so that if there are certain questions, you can help out. Thank you so much everyone for being here.